Good afternoon and happy Friday. Welcome to Humane at Home. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited. We've been featuring some careers the last couple weeks, and I have a really great one here today. Some of the officers who are on the front lines and do so much to help our animals in our community. So I'm really excited to introduce you to them today. So we are wearing masks, and because there are so many of us today, we will not be wearing our microphones. So we're going to yell at you. Hopefully you can hear us. I've been told I talk too loudly, so I'll be right up my alley here. But please let us know in the comments if you can't hear us speaking, because we want to make sure you hear everything we have to say today. So we are really, really proud of our humane law enforcement team here at San Diego Humane Society. We have over 49 officers on the team. So we have 49 people out in the community who are helping our animals and making such a big difference. So I have two of them here today who I'm really excited to introduce you to. We have Officer Boney and Officer Anderson. So they're two of our wonderful officers who go out in our community and answer calls of help. So they help all different kinds of animals. And what's really exciting is today we're going to get to meet some of those animals that they have helped and changed their lives. So it's pretty cool. So welcome, thank you both. So we'll have Lauren will go talk to one of those officers over there. So first of all, what does it take to become a humane law officer? What does that entail?
It's mainly they like to have animal experience, they like law experience,
So do you have to, so is it a course, like do you have to take a training, an academy? What does it entail to become an officer?
There is a lot of training and there's an academy. We do have a 2-week long academy once a year for new officers and other officers in all of California, even the United States sometimes. And we have to do taser training.
Excellent. So you're similar job to maybe a police officer. Mm-hmm. I describe like you're a police officer for animals. So that's pretty amazing. So Officer Boney, so why did you want to become a humane law officer?
Well, I studied criminal justice in community college and I really loved it. And then I really also loved animals, and I discovered this job where I could enforce laws and I could also love animals and enforce animal laws. And
so it's a perfect combination.
Yeah, the second I found out about it, I was like, that's perfect for me.
Excellent. So yeah, so it combines that criminal plus getting to help animals, which is the really, really rewarding part. So we're actually going to meet some of the animals today, Lauren. So I'm going to have you come over here because we're going to kind of talk about some of the stories that they see. It is really, I imagine, very challenging to be an officer because you see a lot of difficult things in the community. Sometimes a lot of the things you're going to see are sad, I imagine, and it's really difficult to see. So you have to have a tough exterior, but then you get to do the good work too and see what happens. So I'm going to maybe let you describe some of the stuff. Why don't we start with that? Because I thought we were going to have a live animal here, but they're, I think, not working, cooperating yet. So why don't we talk about some of the equipment you use in the community and how that helps you to keep your animals safe. Sorry, we're trying to social distance everybody, so we're playing, figuring out where to go.
Okay, so we have a couple of tools here that we use. This right here is a really large net. We don't use this very often. It's only typically in special occasions where we have a hard to catch animal. Maybe we'll play with this in a moment. I'll give you an example here. And then this over here is called a catch pole. It looks really scary when a dog is on it, but it's really just a hard leash. And it's to protect the dog, but it's also to protect us. When dogs are scared, they can sometimes bite. And this is just to make sure that they don't bite us. So Officer Anderson here is going to show you how it works. Ooh. So it just releases a little bit so we can tighten it, we can make it looser, whatever works for the dog. So you just place it around the neck and you just make sure it's tight enough so the dog can't get out, but also so the dog can't bite you. Again, it looks scary, but it's really just a hard leash.
Well, and I imagine, like you said, like a lot of the animals you're encountering are probably very scared. And so when they're scared, they might act out in fear or they might bite. So it's just done for their safety and making sure and your safety too. We don't want you getting bit out there. And then a lot of times I imagine once you get them in your car or here, they're a different animal altogether, right?
Yeah, typically a lot of time when you remove them from whatever scary situation they were in, they definitely change a little bit. So Sometimes we have to use the catch pole initially when we're impounding the animal, but then we don't have to use, we can just use a normal leash when we get back to the shelter.
Excellent. And yeah, and I bet too a lot of them maybe haven't been treated very nicely by humans, so they don't know that they can trust you, which is also really scary. Oh my gosh. So Lauren, why don't you come back? I think Cowgirl sees that dog and is a little intrigued by that doggy. So everybody said this. Okay, oh, she wants to play with that doggy, doesn't she? She was like, what is that? So my friend, so this is Cowgirl. So Cowgirl's with Rachel, our adoption counselor, so maybe we'll see if we can get her to look at us. She is adorable. So I wanted to bring Cowgirl because she is available for adoption, and she was actually brought in by one of our Humane Law officers. She looks like she'd rather go outside right now than spend time with us, but that's okay. So she was actually found at a construction site in San Isidro, and she looked like she'd had a pretty hard life. You can tell that she's had some litters of puppies, and I don't know if you can see, if Lauren can get a little close, like on her legs and her neck, she had a lot of scabbing and scars. So you notice that we put a harness on her because it's really sensitive around her neck, so we don't want to use a collar. So she's had a kind of rough life up until now, but this is the really rewarding part that the officers get to do. They get to bring her out of a situation where maybe she was having a hard time, maybe she was hungry and scared, and she gets to come here. Her habitat is one giant bed and blankets. It's very comfortable. But she really, really needs a special home. She's going to need a home where they can be patient with her, give her time to trust and warm up. She is the sweetest girl. She's one of all of our favorites here. She's been with us for a little bit. Like I said, she's 7 years old, but she does have a bit of separation anxiety. So when she was left alone in an adoptive home that she tried out, she could be a little destructive. So you're just going to need to set her up for success and help be patient with her. Maybe someone who works from home or stay-at-home mom there all the time, but someone who can give her the patience and training to get her to feel comfortable and give her that chance to get settled, because she is worth it. So she's one of those stories where it's really great what our officers do, and then can bring in here and give them a second chance. So she, I swear, is just the sweetest thing. She's not loving her moment on camera, but she's more interested in everything else. But Cowgirl is available for adoption. So if you are interested in learning more about her, please go to our website and make an appointment. She's been waiting a really long time and would make someone really, really lucky. So we are hoping Cowgirl's person is out there ready to give her a great retirement. So thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Cowgirl. You guys are awesome. So we mostly think of like our dog friends and our cat friends that need help, but I know both Officer Boney and Officer Anderson have been involved in some really unique rescues as well. So who wants to talk about the puppies that we found in Escondido? Do you want to come talk about those?
Yeah, I will.
Excellent.
So this picture here is the picture of how the puppies were found. So this was in 2019. This dog food bag was found in a park in Escondido. And a couple of people who were walking around the park heard them crying from the bag and brought them to us. We found, I believe there was 9 puppies in there. They were covered in urine and feces, and they were cold and they were crying. And they were really young, so they had to spend some time at the shelter until they were old enough to be properly vaccinated and adopted out. But what's really cool is that some of the people that found them actually fostered them. This picture is the 3 people who fostered the puppies. They each fostered 3 puppies at a time. And then this picture over here is a certificate of recognition from the city. They actually awarded them for finding the puppies, taking care of the puppies, and as you'll see here, that gentleman actually adopted one of the puppies that he fostered.
So that's a really exciting, happy ending right there.
It was a really, really awesome story.
And what's, to me, is really sad about this is, first of all, this is really preventable. There's never a need, if you have an oops litter, or your dog does, and or your cat, or whatever it is, we are here to help you. You do not need, if they cannot provide for these puppies, please just bring them to the shelter. This actually happened probably about 2 miles from our shelter in Escondido, right? It's like, just bring them to our shelter. We will happily take them and help them and care for them. There was no need for this. So thank goodness that these Good Samaritans were there when they were there, because that could have been a really awful ending for these puppies. And instead, they really got this second chance and are living great lives. So please, please, please reach out to us. So I have a question actually. So, well, let's learn about these dogs, and then I'll lead to that question. So who did this rescue?
I did.
Okay, all right.
Myself and Officer Clark, who is an officer in Escondido, we got a call for 2 dogs abandoned in a park in Escondido. They both look pretty similar to that dog in the picture. They were very heavily matted, they were very dirty, they were very scared. It took us quite a while to catch them because they were scared. But once we did, we took them to our medical team, who gave them immediate grooming, immediate baths to help their skin that was really sensitive and red and irritated from the matting and from everything else that was in that fur. So once they were both groomed and available for adoption, cleared medically, they both were very clearly sweet boys. And a nice family with a couple of children adopted them together because they are a bonded pair. And last I heard, they seem to be doing really good.
That's amazing. I love this. And Lauren, I feel like this is like right here, Miss Lauren. This one is like the face of rescue and why we do what we do. Because that is a happy dog, a happy smile. And again, like I was talking about with the puppies, this is preventable. There's no reason that you should let your dog get to this condition, or your pet, or just, again, set them free in a park. How scary that is. So if you need help, or if you see an animal who needs help, that is why we are here. We have services that can help you financially. We also, if you can't, it is so much kinder and more humane to surrender them to the Humane Society so that we can find them a home who can care for them. But lots of times we can intervene and help you. We have paws to give you food, help with vet care, that kind of thing. So this is my question for you. If I was the neighbor and I saw this dog in my neighbor's backyard, or any dog, maybe an animal who wasn't getting fed every day or looked too skinny, or was clearly not cared for, if I call, first of all, what should I do? And then if I do report something like that, can I remain anonymous, or are they going to know it was me who called?
Yeah, so anytime you see an animal that looks like this, whether you know the animal, it's a neighbor's animal, or anything like that, please call our dispatch. It's part of our job in humane law enforcement to ensure that the animals are not neglected, to make sure that they are getting the proper care, and this qualifies under neglect. This animal needed care, needed grooming. Their skin was irritated, injured because of the matting. So call our dispatch, because they'll create a case, officers will go out and they'll enforce grooming, making sure that that animal gets the care that's needed. And you can remain anonymous should you ask, absolutely.
Excellent. So there's no reason not to call, my friends, because you never want to let an animal suffer. Or if it's your own animal, please, please, please reach out to us. I think our Humane Law Dispatch is here till 10 p.m. every single day. So there's someone here to help to answer your call. You just call our main number. You can find it on our website, and you push 1, and we will get you the answers or the help that you need. Excellent. So I'm going to have Officer Anderson tell us about some of the cool rescues that she has done. And we kind of focused on dogs, but what's really cool is we help lots of other animals too. So one thing you might not think about that our officers also have to be trained to handle is wildlife. So I bet we get a lot of wildlife calls.
Especially this time of year, we are in the height of baby season. So we do get a lot of baby raccoons, baby possum over there. And even, I do want to say, if you do find a possum and the mother is deceased, and you do want to bring in the babies that are with her, bring in the deceased mother too, because there could be babies in her pouch that we want to get out. Do not try and detach them yourself, because that could harm the babies. Our Project Wildlife, they can assist with any questions that you have. But this one in particular is my favorite, the red-tailed hawk. We got a call after hours, so it was super dark at night. We got a call for the hawk with its wing over here. It was entangled in fishing wire that was attached to a tree in a canyon. I don't know how they found it, but they called us, we went out, and the people who actually called, I did need their assistance because there was a lot of traffic at that time. I needed some other kind of help, so he definitely helped me out. I had the bird. It's a big bird. That's a big bird.
It looks big.
So I had the bird, and I had him assist with cutting the wire off the bird, and then he helped me place it in the box. Luckily, the hawk survived. It was rehabilitated, and it was actually
Released back, which is amazing.
Released back.
Which is our happy ending for wildlife.
And that's what makes our job the best. Or the happy endings, it does offset the sad.
Yes, because again, I can't even imagine some of the difficult situations you have to enter and the difficult situations of animals suffering that you see. But yes, this is the happy ending, and especially to see that rehabilitation and release, or see an. Get adopted and get to see that happy ending for them, which is really cool. So I want to stress something that she said, because I think it was an amazing fact I learned when she said that so opossums right now, they're very slow. Sometimes they're moving across the street. Remember, if you've been watching Wildlife Wednesday, we know that opossums are awesome, and we want to care for all of our wildlife friends. So, but what she said that I think is fascinating that I've learned is a mama can get hit by a car maybe, and she can pass away, but her babies can still be alive and survive in her pouch. So I'm not saying that you should go up and look and see if it's a female or a pouch, but you can always call our officers and they can do that for you. But that's why we're here. We want to help. We don't want to ever see an animal suffering. And also, were you the bat one?
No, that was Officer Boney.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I just love all the wildlife. Do you want to talk? Well, do you want to talk about it, Officer Anderson? This is really interesting to me. And
so this actually happened in October around Halloween time. The bat got caught in the fake web.
Spider webs.
Yeah, those. It was actually wrapped around its neck, and it got caught. Somebody called the Humane Society. Officer Boney went out and safely removed the bat, and he was re-released. He was re-released. I'm sorry? No injuries.
So just got stuck and needed our help. So again, a lot of these things, especially the wildlife, it's because they're coming in conflict with us. So if you've listened at Wildlife Wednesday, we always talk about coexisting peacefully, and sometimes that means changing some things that we do. So maybe we don't decorate outside with the webbing, we put that inside our house.
Yep.
We don't release balloons to celebrate, we do something else that's not going to harm our animal friends. Because this is really, really sad. You don't want to catch that in your Halloween web, and we don't want to hurt an animal. Bats are amazing. They do lots of important jobs for us. They pollinate so we can have chocolate and tequila. So, we want our bats out there. And also they do a good job of eating, I think, mosquitoes. I'm going to get in trouble from my Wildlife Wednesday friends. But they're good. We want to be kind to them. Okay, so we have right here in real life one of our amazing happy stories for you. So, Officer Bonnie's going to tell you about this ridiculous creature and her story and her rescue.
All right, so this is Fiona. Sometime last year, I got a call in the middle of the night. Something that most people don't know is that our officers, we do have officers who are on call throughout the night. They're 24/7 to make sure that we're here to help with emergent situations and whatnot. So we got a call. The gentleman saw Miss Fiona here and was really concerned that she was sick because she was really lethargic. She was not acting herself. He had seen her a couple times before, so he did everything he could to purchase Fiona from the woman who did own her so that he could save her. But unfortunately, he did not have the resources available to himself to give her the help that he knew she needed. So he called us in the middle of the night. So when I got there, Miss Fiona was very lethargic. She was very weak. She was vomiting. She had diarrhea. She was clearly very sick. And we were concerned that she may have parvo or something like that. Even though that's not very common in adult dogs, it can happen. So I rushed her to the emergency vet through the night. And then the next morning, our medical team here at San Diego Humane did exploratory surgery because they weren't sure what was going on. And they found out that she actually ate her collar. So she had a collar in her intestines that was blocking everything. It was making her really sick, and it had clearly been there long enough to make her ill. So they removed that. I heard it was, they were worried about sepsis and whatnot when she was recovering, but she recovered.
That's her.
And she's doing very well.
Surgery.
So the gentleman who initially saved her and surrendered her, he named her Freedom because he felt that he brought her freedom from the woman who was not providing the care that was necessary. And then her new mom, adopted her and absolutely fell in love with her because she has another dog that looks similar to Miss Fiona here, and she renamed her Fiona. She has a very long name.
Yes, I'm going to try it. I am ready after that. Okay, so yes, so Freedom, and I don't know what her name was prior to that, but so like she said, she was rescued from a life on the streets. So she had been living with a homeless person and is, as you can see, very friendly, so sweet, but yes, had eaten her collar and got it all blocked. What I love about this story too is our how we work with other organizations in the community, the other vets. So she went to the emergency vet until you could get her here in the morning for us to do the surgery. So I love those partnerships. But so yes, I'm going to try and remember her name. So she has been adopted and is clearly spoiled with her little pearl collar, as you can see. But her name is now Fiona Venus Waddle Pants. Okay, and we call her Fifi LaRue for short. So many names to remember, but they're all adorable and fitting for her. So I think Lauren has probably captured how squatty she is. Yes. It is so ridiculous. So if Lauren's out, I don't even know how it's just amazing how cute she is. But so she has now become not only a cherished family member and is very spoiled, but what's really cool is she's become one of our canine ambassadors at the Humane Society. So she actually goes to schools. She's gone to schools to help teach about dog safety. She has comes to our Paws and Paperbacks reading program. So it is just such a cool, happy ending because she was living such a different life, and now she is really, really treasured and is now teaching people about what you guys do and your incredible work, and also just being such a great ambassador for pit bulls and so many things. So we are really happy for Fiona's happy ending.
Yeah, she really loves the hose. She loves it. Her mom will just spray her with the hose and she bites at it. She thinks it's the most fun game. She also gets her nails done. I don't know if you guys saw that, but she's pretty in pink today.
I think she just went and got a bath for her big camera show.
Yes, so she very much loves her mom.
Yes, she does.
She's a mama's girl.
She absolutely is. And so, and also I know it took some time in the beginning. So we always, when you adopt, please, please, please give your animal friends some time. She had lived with a homeless person, so she had never been alone. So like Cowgirl, she had a bit of separation anxiety when Jolene first brought her home. But Jolene made plans. She was patient. She had people check. So just give them that time and that patience, and they can really, really become amazing companions. So we just need to give them that time, and then they can shine like this. So we love, so Fifi LaRue is living the good life, no doubt.
Yes,
so very cool. So thank you, Officer Valley. And I'm sure Jolene and Fifi are very thankful too, because this is the ending in the happiness that we like to see. So you love me so thank you. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to go back over here to Officer Anderson because we've talked about our what we typically think of as maybe the animals that we want to help and rescue, our dogs, our cats. We've talked about some wildlife. I think you guys have done horse rescues. So they do the farm animals. I know that I've known a tarantula that was rescued by Humane Law. So we, all sizes, every animal, we want to treat with respect and kindness. So no matter what kind of animal it is, we want them to be safe and protected, and that's why we're here. So, Officer Anderson is a protector of the more creepy crawlies. So, I do. She not only, she keeps them as her pets too. So she's going to tell us a little bit about some of the more unique rescues she's done.
So this snake actually came into the Humane Society because its owner was arrested.
There's a snake in this pillowcase, people.
There's a snake. You can keep snakes in pillowcases. It's dark, it's breathable.
Not forever, but just as a nice resting place at work today.
Just like a little...
There you are.
So I actually adopted him. He came in with a bunch of other snakes. So his owner was arrested. All of his snakes came here. He had a bunch. I think he was breeding them. But after further doctor visits, I guess, the doctor said they saw malnutrition, some issues with the snakes, and it turned into more of a cruelty case. So we did end up seizing the animals. They all became our property, and I mean, he's pretty awesome. He's a carpet python, So he likes trees and he likes to climb.
That's pretty cool. His tail's going in your belt. So how much bigger will this one get?
So he's a male, so I'm no expert by any means. So he's probably gonna get maybe a little bit bigger, not as big as like an anaconda or anything like that. But
This might be giving some people a heart attack. I love this. He's going to go up her shirt. I love that.
Oh, is he going up
yeah.
her shirt?
He is. He's going, oh, there he goes. That's kind of fun.
That's cool. No.
So my friends,
Maybe he's just
I'm not a snake person. I'm not going to have a snake as a pet, but I certainly want no harm to come to this snake. So if you are going to get a pet, you need to be responsible for that pet no matter what kind it is. So look at this. You can have a little necklace when you're...
Yep. But luckily he's not big enough to do any damage.
Yes.
So yeah, he hangs out. He's very docile. He just kind of chills. He wraps around your arm and you can walk to the store with him.
Oh.
You do get those reactions when people notice it, but
I bet you they do.
yeah, he just hangs out.
Oh my gosh, look at this. You got to get this tattoo at the same time. Voice for the voiceless. I love this. There's a perfect little advertisement for HLE. That's perfect. So, which is exactly what you guys do. So they go out there, they help these animals who can't speak up for themselves. And that's too why we rely so heavily on our community too. Because we don't know, we're not everywhere all the time. So we need your help in identifying if an animal needs help. And I guarantee that Officer Boney and Officer Anderson would rather go somewhere and check on something and have it be okay than not get a call at all.
Yeah.
So even if you think you might be overreacting.
Even if you're not sure,
Yes.
it's just better safe than sorry.
Definitely. Please call us. We'd rather go out there and see that, they're okay, than to not get that call and let them maybe continue to suffer. So, oh my gosh. So here's one surprise, and then Officer Anderson is also back in the pillowcase for some snuggles. I saw her out earlier taking him out into the sunshine. What's his name?
His name's Bane.
Bane. So Bane was out there sunbathing earlier too. So he's had a pretty fun field trip today.
Gotta get some sunlight for these reptiles.
That's right, keep them warm. So she has another one who she's brought special for us today, who has a unique story as well.
So this guy, he was actually brought into the Humane Society by a breeder. Him and two of his other brothers, I guess, they were attacked by another cage mate. So he's got little nubs for feet. He's got one little claw. Over here, you're okay. Got one little claw, and he actually moves pretty quickly. Maybe not on
The
soft
surface,
surfaces,
yeah.
but so he was attacked by his cage mates. The breeder actually brought the three in and said, well, I can't sell them, so here you go. And yeah, our staff actually, all three were adopted by staff members.
That's very cool. So you can see, and I think that tail's a little shorter than it normally would be too, right?
It should be out to here.
Yes.
And his fingers should be longer.
Yes. So fortunately, this guy still deserves a happy life. So you just maybe have made some accommodations in his habitat or some things because he probably can't, he's not as agile as other bearded dragons.
Not a climber.
Yes.
Definitely not a climber.
But that's all right. So this is an important story too. So she said he was brought in by a breeder who didn't have any value to him because he couldn't sell him like this. This wasn't, he's not going to make any money off of this. So please, 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 we always encourage you to rescue. We get in reptiles like this. We get in snakes. We get in bearded dragons. So sometimes you might have to wait a little longer for those unique animals to come in, but there are reptile rescues. Please, please, please look there first. And if you are going to get from a breeder, do your research. So this was a really unfortunate situation and not a breeder who really cares about his animals. So we want to support responsible breeders, or please, please, please check your rescues because we always have a variety of animals that are looking for homes. And you know what? I think this guy's even more, I'm sad that he was attacked, but look how he's a special guy. Yep. He's unique and he deserves to have a happy life just like any other one.
He definitely will. Definitely going to get nice and chunky.
Perfect. Yeah, so we'll keep. Are we still here? Okay, Excellent. Did we get any questions, Miss Lauren?
We did not get questions, but we do have a 12-year-old named Emily who says you guys have inspired her to be an HLE officer when she grows up.
So I don't know if you heard that, but so Emily, shout out to Emily, said she's 12 years old and has been inspired to maybe become a humane law officer. It is such an incredible way to help animals and be out there on the front lines. Do you want to tell one more? I know we have one more really cool story, and then we can end. Oh my gosh, look at this, Lauren. Just hanging out today. So pretty, I think he's enjoying his day at work with you.
He does.
Yes. This is the reward for this. So yeah, this is a really interesting story as well, and involves another wild animal.
Right. So this is July 3rd. I got a call for a falcon stuck in barbed wire at the top of a 10-foot fence at the top of Black Mountain.
Oh.
I had no way to get there myself because it's all the way at the top of a mountain, so I had to call in the fire department. It's amazing. They came as quick as they could. They helped me. They let me jump in their four-wheel vehicle, and we drove all the way up to the top of the mountain to try to find this bird. And we did. So this picture here is the fire department. This was actually a trainee here. It was his first day on the job, I do believe, if I remember correctly. So it was an exciting night.
And probably not a normal first day that anyone's ever had on the fire department.
Right. So, and we're not allowed to climb their ladders, so I talked him through this. So this is him at the top of his ladder, at the top of the 10-foot fence, and here's the barbed wire here. And this is actually the bird. I don't know if you can see. He was upside down. He had injuries to both wings and both legs. So I talked him through how to get the bird down safely. And then I discovered, once we put him in a carrier, I took him to an emergency vet, and I discovered that he actually had a band on his wrist, which falcons don't really have bands on their wrists or their ankles, unless they're owned. So I discovered that he was owned, and this is him healing here. This is him in rehab a little bit later, but I actually discovered that he was part of a falconry school called Total Raptor Experience. His name is Reggie. And he's a little bit of a rebellion. So he has escaped a couple of different times here, and this is him once he was healed and released medically. He was able to get back to flying and working with the people who own him. And so this over here is a husband and wife here. They're the ones who own Total Raptor Experience. They've got hawks, they've got falcons, they've got all types of raptors, and what they do is they teach people what they do, how they survive, and all this good stuff. And so you can do interactions with their different birds and whatnot. And so I did that. 5 months later, after saving Reggie, I got to see him again, and I got to see him in action, and it was incredible. I got to see another one of their birds, and it was a great story, especially because of the injury sustained. If I remember correctly, he needed over 80 stitches.
Oh, wow.
That's really hard for a bird to come back from. So, but he's doing great.
That is awesome. So, in testament to all of our veterinarians and amazing Project Wildlife staff and all of those people who are out there on the front lines too. So, this has really been a great overview because did you have a question? Did you go for it?
I just wanted to let everybody know that even though our dispatch is open only until 10, if you see an injured animal or anything at nighttime, in the middle of the night, whatever you're doing, you can call 911 and they will transfer you to an on-call officer, and we'll go out and rescue those falcons.
Awesome, thank you. I'm really glad you said that, because that's when Fiona was in the middle of the night. So there are officers on call. Thank you, because I don't want you to think you can't help after 10 p.m. Because if an animal's hurt, we will be there. They will be there. So I will be sleeping. But okay, but this is really, I love highlighting our humane law officers because we have such an incredible team. They are on the front line every single day. You never know what you're going to get. It could be a bat, it could be a raccoon, it could be a horse, it could be a tarantula, a snake. They're there for all of them, and it's pretty incredible. So we're really, really appreciative. Hope you learned some cool stuff about what they do. And on Monday, it is Memorial Day. So we are going to be off, but we're going to have a fun activity that you can do at home to celebrate Humane at Home on Monday. And then next Wednesday, we're going to actually go see some really cool flight cages that our ambassador, I think, Owl, live in. So for Wildlife Wednesday. So we have some really cool stuff planned for next week. So please join us. And thank you to Officer Boney, and thank you to Officer Anderson, and to cute little bearded dragon and snake. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend.